Go live. Hello, go live. All right, there we are. All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're getting ready to start. We're in the Kickstart kitchen, and we are in week 4. This is Friday. We're in week 4. We're in the Metabolic Health Kickstart kitchen doing meal prep, and we're excited to be here. I'm gonna start making my Stronghold, which is a supplement for helping negate anabolic resistance, which is where we tear down, muscles get torn down. The Stronghold is a great supplement. It has creatine, leucine, and HMB, those 4 combinations. It has a unique but a unique product that we are using. It's called Stronghold. And it's one of the things that now have helped me at 73 gain 9 pounds and have a 30% lean muscle mass. At 73, I'm supposed to be losing muscle. Okay. I've actually gained strength, gained muscle. I'm at 3% lean muscle mass, having had sarcopenia, which is muscle wasting, down to 143 pounds. I'm up to 152 pounds now. And Stronghold is one of the things that's helped with that. So I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to start drinking this. And let's look at today's menu. And one of the reasons we're doing this is because, guys, this is me. I don't want you to ever go down this path. Now, some of you already may be here at this path. And so I don't want you to be called Mr. Belly So Big or have your blood so thick with blood glucose that you have a nickname of, are you ready for this? Maple syrup. Yeah, I was Mr. Belly So Big. I've been over 280 pounds. I'm down to 100. I got down, unfortunately, to 143. I'm up to 152, perfect, at 73 years of age. So we're going to talk a little bit about my story, but you can see how inflamed I was here. In 107 days, I was able to reverse a lot of conditions. We're going to talk about them. So that's what we're going to talk about. So today on our menu, this is week 4 of meal plan. Now, the meal plan is in our program called the Kickstart program. If you want to learn about that, just message us. We'll look to get you the next challenge. We have 2 more weeks. This is week 4 of 6. We're having a great event. Every week we talk about a different pillar of health. We went goal setting. We've gone sleep. We've done stress. We've done nutrition. We have 2 more to go. So we have do coaching and teaching. I'm along with myself, and I was a coach and a competitive coach. I was blessed to coach Olympic swimmers, U.S. swimmers as well, Big Ten champs, nationals, the whole 9 yards, age group all the way up, seniors. And so in this program, we have Dr. Bobby Munez, who is a doctor of pharmacy and who specializes in hormones, and he's part of the team, and Andrea Martin, who is a wellness doctorate. And so she's working on that as well. And so that's part of our team that coach and do this right along with you. And so this is week 4. We'll look at see if we have another challenge after this. We'll see if we go through the holidays. But this is the great thing about this meal plan. And it's not my brainstorm, but this is the meals. And then there's a shopping list. We have the shopping list right there for you. So you can go through the inventory that you have in your fridge, your freezer, your pantry, wherever you have groceries. And then you know what else you might need for the week to make the meals. Now, one of the things about cooking is that cooking, to me, recipes like there are in here are suggestions. Because you have things that you like and there's things that you don't like. So, for example, everybody knows if you don't know, I don't like slimy okra. I don't mind okra. I just don't like it slimy, like you get in an old gumbo. I want my okra clean and fresh. I don't like ground turkey. To me, it's styrofoam. You may love ground turkey, and good on you for that. For me, I'd rather have lamb, ground lamb all day long. I know that it's going to have been grass-fed, grass-finished. Turkey, I don't know. And unless you do wild turkey, and I do hunt and I fish and I do those kinds of things. And so it depends on the source of that protein. So we're going to talk about proteins. We're going to talk about food, but recipes like we have in here are suggestions. There's today's recipe that we're going to look at is chicken sausage and veggie on a sheet, so on a sheet pan. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you how we make it. Okay. I am not going to finish it. Why? Well, because on this week, I have a fridge full of leftovers already. One of the things about being on the protocol is we don't eat as much naturally. It used to be, I'd never have a leftover. Now, and a whole pizza used to be a meal. Now, maybe half a pizza, a couple slices. So it's not that we count calories. That's a waste of time. We count carbs, waste of time. It's not that we're restricted eating. It's a waste of time. We do look at some factors of things, but recipes like this, you get to engineer them to the foods you like, what makes your palate work. You know things that you like. I like lamb, for example, over turkey all day long. So we're going to show how to make this and some ideas and that kind of thing as well. But if you're a baker, if you bake, you have to follow laboratory ingredient measurements, weighing, liquid weighs, bake time, cook time, prep time, set time, all of those. It is more laboratory work. So baking is science. Cooking is fun. You get to play with food. That's what I like about cooking. So this is what we're going to look to do today. And this is week 4. And today we're going to look to do, this is a sausage veggie mix. Okay, so that's what we're going to look to do today. Okay, so now I'm going to take a drink of my Stronghold. And again, this is to help combat anabolic resistance, which is the breakdown of muscle. Now, when I was this Mr. Belly so big, and I lost, how did I get here and how did I get to where I'm at now? I used to be a yo-yo dieter. I don't know if any of you have been the same way, but I used to be a yo-yo dieter, and it led me down a path that I didn't even understand. And without me even knowing it, my fasting blood glucose went up to 834 with an A1C of 18.1. Yes, if you look those numbers up, 834 fasting blood glucose and an A1C of 18.1, you will see that I should be dead. Literally. That was fasting blood glucose. That's why I had the name maple syrup, because my blood was basically sugar water in syrup form. That was fasting. And fasting, by the way, I had that blood run at 2 p.m. So it was almost a 20-hour fast. I knew that if I waited longer, my blood sugar should be lower. 834. 834 was my number. I'm here and alive for a reason. It's to try. My message is to teach you not to go down that path. And 107 days on this natural protocol, in 107 days, my blood sugar went from 834 to 90, which is normal. My A1C went from 18.1, critical, emergency, medical attention is necessary immediately, to 7.2. Now, while that's still a little bit diabetic, that was in 90 days on a natural patented protocol. Natural. 90-day money-back guarantee. Backed by peer-reviewed, published clinical studies at major universities and the Cleveland Clinic. And it's even registered in Health Canada. So we'll talk about that in a minute as well. Guys, just so you know, here's a list I made the other day of signs and symptoms of insulin resistance. Let's look at some. Oh, by the way, I have 68 listed here. I had 58 of them, and I didn't even know it. I had no idea because no one ever taught me about this, and I'm trying to teach you. Okay, so let's look. Under neurological and cognitive, I had brain fog. And if any of these make sense to you, just listen up because I'm trying to help protect you and make so you know what's going on and it makes sense to you. I had brain fog. I had difficulty concentrating. I had memory issues, mood swings, irritability, anxiety, depression, headaches, dizziness, and poor quality sleep. The only one I didn't have up here is headaches. And some of you I know you get migraines. I haven't had a headache since I was 16. I'm 73 now. Why? I was a silly goose, and I don't know why, but when I was 16, I said I wish my headaches on the Chinese, because there's a bagillion of them, they would notice too. I haven't had a headache since I was 16. Period, end of story. None, for any reason. And I know that some of you have migraines. I feel sorry. I'm sad to do it, but that also is a sign of insulin resistance. Look it up. So on this 10, I had 9 out of 10 symptoms. Let's see what else I had. Metabolic and digestive. All right, cravings for sugar and carbs, constant hunger, fatigue after meals, bloating, slow digestion, constipation, increased appetite, feeling tired despite eating, weight difficulty, losing it, and difficulty there, right there. So of these 10, I had all 10. So out of 20 different possibilities of signs and symptoms of insulin resistance, we are now at 19 out of 20. Yeah, I wasn't well. Let's look at cardiovascular and blood markers. High blood pressure, yep. Elevated triglycerides, yep. Low HDL, yep, that's good cholesterol. High LDL, yep. Elevated fasting blood glucose, 834, I think counts. Elevated insulin level, don't know, but when it's that high, and you know it was, because they don't test that for you. That's one of the things you need to demand that your clinicians test your fasting insulin. Write that down. Fasting insulin. Write that down. And what else went on? Well, we had increased heart rate, high A1C, poor circulation, and cold hands and feet. Well, guess what? Out of those 10, that's 10. Out of the 10 ahead of it, 10. And out of the other one, 9. So 39 of 30. You think I was healthy? You think I was well? I didn't know. Those are just things that were going on. No one told me I should be concerned. Yeah, you go in and go, I don't feel well. They go, your markers, oh, you're fine, but they kick you out. Maybe they gave you a script. I don't know. Let's look at the next level. So the next thing is what? Physical appearance and skin. Abdominal belly fat. You think? I've lost 14 inches. I'm down 14 inches. I got down to a 28-inch waist. Okay? On the 73-year-old. Now, what else we have? Skin tags, those little buds that come out of your neck, your eyelids, your face, your armpits, your groin. Yep. Now, dark skin patches and, all right, and cuffs, nigricans. I did not have those. Puffy face, yeah, I look like a pumpkin. How about swollen ankles? Sure. Oily skin, yes. Acne, yes. Back acne, terrible. Hair thinning, falling out, yep. Heritsimi, that's where, ladies, that's your facial hair. And fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver. I had all those. I'm not a girl, so the hair on my face doesn't count. So of these 10, there were 2 I didn't have. I didn't have the dark patches of skin. I'm not a girl, so that hair on my face, I'm a guy, so that's what we call beards and mustaches and that. Okay. So out of these 10, there was 2 that didn't count. We had 1 up here that didn't count. So in 20, 30, 40, there's like 5 symptoms I didn't have. Let's look what else goes on. Urinary and hydration. Frequent urination, yes, like every 2 hours. Increased thirst, constantly had a drink. Dehydration, it's how your mouth can be so dry at the same time. And you're drinking all this because you're peeing it all out. You're sweating it all out. You're breathing it out. And nocturia, that's where you wake up at night. Yeah, you get up and you're peeing all the time. And then hormone and reproduction. I didn't have the regular menstrual cycles. I'm not a girl, okay? I don't qualify for that one. Polycystic ovarian, that's me. I don't have PCOS. I'm not a girl. All right? Low testosterone for men, yeah. Infertility, sure, because the erectile dysfunction, yeah. Those are all there too. And some of the major things beyond that, type 2 diabetes, yep, diagnosed. I didn't have any medications. Type 3 diabetes, that's Alzheimer's, although I will tell you that I had some frontal lobe issues that are the same type of thing early on, memory, language, those types of things. Inflammation everywhere. We got autoimmune, prediabetes, I blew past that. Itises, any kind of itis, gingivitis, right? Bursitis, those are all tendinitis. Those are all signs of inflammation that are all signs of insulin resistance. Gout, I had that. I wish that on nobody. Sarcopenia, that's muscle wasting. I had that. Food addictions, you betcha. Blurry vision, that's a whole nother story. Absolutely. Neuropathy, that's numbness in the hands and feet. IBS, gut dysbiosis, right? Psoriasis, I did not have that. Retinopathy, I had to have my cataracts done. And then we also have Hashimoto's. I'm sorry, my language is off a little bit. Acid reflux and overeating. So I had 58 of 68 when I had a blood glucose of 834 with an A1C of 18.1. In 107 days on this all-natural protocol, with a little bit of fiber and a little bit of fasting, drinking 3 drinks a day. In 107 days, I went to 90 with a 7.2. I lost 14 inches off my waist. That's 73. So that tells you a little bit about the reason that I'm here talking to you about this, okay? Now, I want to give you an announcement that in November, we have an opportunity for you to come listen to some of the most famous, knowledgeable speakers in the world on metabolic health, research, nutrition. We have Dr. Seaman, Jamie Seaman, who is the author of Fit and Fabulous podcast. We have Dr. Carlos, who is the author of the Metabolic Miracle. We have Dr. Nick, who is a board certified doctor, allopathic physician on preventative medicine. He is also a CrossFit certified trainer. We have Cynthia Thurlow, and she is the author of Intermittent Fasting and Transformation. We have Dr. Ben Bickman, the leading expert in metabolic research health in the world, and from BYU. We have Jason Fung, Dr. Jason Fung, author of the Obesity Code, the Diabetes Code. All right, he's going to be with us. We have Nina. She just published an article about the Tufts University nutrition statement from research where they listed that cereal, Lucky Charms, or Lucky Charms or one of those, is more nutritious than meat. Better for you than meat. Serious? Okay. But she's off to the big fat surprise. All of them were going to be with us. We already had a special event, a private event with Dr. Mindy Pels, author of Fast Like a Girl, along with Dr. Ben Bickman. Now that was a private event for us about 2 weeks ago. But all these 9 people are going to be with us for a day. If you'd like to come, put tickets in the chat, and I'll make sure I get the information to show you how you can get tickets to be at this event. And this is in November, I believe the 8th, which is the day before my birthday. Okay? But if you'd like to have tickets, get tickets, put tickets in the chat, and I'll make sure I get that information for you. So yeah, this is Mr. Belly So Big and Mr. Maple Syrup. So we're going to talk about putting things together. And one of the reasons we have these issues with metabolic health is that we're eating too often. We're just simply eating too often. Now, if you were told to eat 3 meals a day and then snack every 2 hours to keep your metabolism up, put 6 in the chat, would you? Yeah, if you were told you have 3 meals a day and you need to snack about every 2 hours to keep your metabolism up, go ahead and put 6 in the chat, would you please? And that's even information that's supported by the American Diabetics Association. But you know what? It is perfect if you want diabetes. If you want to eat your way into diabetes, if you want to eat your way into Alzheimer's, dementia, just make sure you keep eating every 2 hours. From the time you get up to the time you go to bed, 365 days a year, make sure you eat every 2 hours. If you want to make sure you get diabetes, if you want to make sure you get Alzheimer's, if you want to make sure you have cardiovascular disease, if you want to make sure you have obesity, if you want to make sure that you have high blood pressure, that you have non-alcoholic fatty liver, that you get neuropathy, retinopathy, your hair falls out, you have all kinds of itises, you have PCOS, ED. Make sure you eat every 2 hours, 365 days a year. Oh, you don't want those conditions? You don't want to go down this path that I went down? Good. Stop eating every 2 hours. In fact, let's look at a different way of eating. Let's look at, well, first off, George, back up. Why? Every time you swallow something, every time we swallow something, you put it into your system, it causes an effect. Cause and effect, Newton's law, right? So what happens is you take it in, it's going to create glucose, blood sugar, energy, okay? It takes energy, but now it's energy. When you have swallowed something and it creates glucose, it doesn't just sit there by itself. It has to go somewhere. It has to get to the cells. It has to get into the cell by way of a receptor, okay? And what gets it there is insulin. Insulin is a hormone. Just like the hormones you have. Ladies, you're very familiar with your hormones, right? Estrogen, progesterone, right? Because you have all the cycles. Guys, We have it too, but we don't notice as much because we don't have all those cycles that sort do, but we don't. But insulin is a hormone that everybody has. So stop thinking it's only a diabetic thing. Because if you eat every 2 hours, you will learn to become one of those. Okay? Because you have to have as much insulin as there is glucose to get it into the cells. Well, eventually, guess what happens? The cells are full. Now where's it going to go? The muscle cells are full. Where's it going to go? Because you're still eating every 2 hours. Insulin hasn't got its job done from the last mouthful of stuff you had. So it goes to the liver. Then it tries to go to the brain. Eventually, all of the cells get full. And they can't take anything in. And they also can't get rid of the stuff out. The cells have toxicity involved in them. There's waste products that they can't even get out to get room for more stuff to come in. And meanwhile, you're flooding it with more food. Oh, I'm just going to have a few pretzels. By the way, it's October, isn't it? Go to any store. What do you see? A whole aisle of what? Diabetes. I mean, sugar candies, right? Just look at it and consider it as diabetes on a shelf. All of these, every little snacky poo. Oh, it's just a little Butterfinger. Oh, it's a little Snicker. Oh, it's just a little Skittle. Oh, it's just a baby pretzel. Oh, it's just a little goldfish thing. No. Look at it as a diabetic pill to cause you to get it because you have no need to eat that. Zero. You have more energy than you need already in your body. How can I even say such a thing? Well, let's look at this. When you went to sleep, did you eat while you were asleep? Anybody? Bueller? So while you're sleeping, you're not eating. And all the way through the night, are you eating? 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 No? Did you die? No? Cool. So you can and do fast. Fast isn't anything other than not putting more food in your body, not adding more energy in your body. Okay? So you can fast. In fact, you can fast 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, can't you? Now, some of you only make sleep 4 hours, but the whole time that you're sleeping, you haven't eaten anything, right? And as long as you're not eating, you're fasting. Now, while you're fasting, you're heading yourself towards autophagy. Autophagy is a really cool long word. You could win the password with it, the old TV show. You probably can solve a crossword puzzle with it as well. But what it means is eventually your body starts getting rid of the trash. It gets rid of the bad cells. It gets rid of the bad parts of cells. And the more you can do that, the more you can burn fat. Cool. And it goes as long as you do, but the first thing you swallow, as quick as you swallow something, in the morning, including your pills, if you take pills or vitamins or supplements right away in the morning, you broke your fast. So while you're sleeping fast, your sleep fast, as quick as you swallow something, you break your fast. Make sense? Great. So now you are in sugar burning mode. Now you are in glucose burning mode. Now you have to have insulin going along. Just like that. And it never gets a chance to stop, does it? Until you what? Stop eating. You want to burn fat? You want to burn more fat? Stop snacking. Power drinks. Power drinks my butt. power drinks, energy drinks, drug drinks, basically, right? Just drug drinks, chemical drinks, sold to you under the guise of energy, health, does this, creates this, creates this. Every day you constantly put yourself in this continued jeopardy. And your children. And your loved ones. But that's just me. So you want to what? You want to go as long as you can every day. Once you turn on burning sugar, glucose, sure, let's try to keep it inside of a window. Let's try to keep it inside. If you're going to snack, do it think about it in terms of football season. Okay, think about it for like goalposts, right? Think about it from that standpoint. Think about, you got the goalpost, eat between the goalposts. That's your eating zone. Now, you may move it to the morning. You can slide it over. You can slide it that way. But stay inside of the goalpost. Stay inside of your eating zone. Eat, snack, do it inside of here. On the outside, nothing. Water's fine. You can drink Unomate tea, which is chlorogenic acid tea, which activates your GLP-1 by 60%. But eat in the eating zone. Stay out here. Stay inside the zone. Now, if you're on a thyroid medication, you may follow the circadian rhythm, and so you're going to probably take it around 10. That's about the time you're going to take your thyroid medication, probably. I'm not your doctor. Check with your doctor. Check with your pharmacist. But following the circadian rhythm, you're going to take it about 10. And 30 minutes after that, you're going to start eating. Good. 10 o'clock, you broke your fast with the thyroid medication. You start eating at 10:30. So now you're going to go from 10 to 5 or 6, whatever that zone is. Now, if you find that you're in a rhythm and then you just get stuck, change that. Start earlier or later. Move that around. Tease your body with the zone, but don't snack outside of it. Does that make sense? Don't snack outside of it. Because we know that when you do swallow something, when you do eat, especially if it's a carb, you create a spike. And when you create a spike, then insulin has to go up higher than that. Does that make sense? If you eat carbs first, let's say you have a burrito. What's that wrapped in? Well, George, it's beans. No, it's wrapped in what? Right, a tortilla, which is made out of what? Flour, starch, which is what? A carbohydrate, which does what? Spikes your blood glucose, which requires that your pancreas put out more insulin than there's in the glucose level to push it down. So that's why we want to eat, we want to follow the order of food. You want to eat in this order of food, guys, consciously. You want to eat fiber first, then you want to go to your fat, then you go to your protein, and then to your carb. You're going to build and eat just like that. Fiber first, okay? Okay, so I just got done with my stronghold, which is that creatine, leucine, and HMB. That helps build my lean muscle mass. We're going to be eating a little bit. I'm going to get into the recipe. So I'll teach you about that in a second. So let's go looking at today's recipe, what we would look at. Now, again, like I said, I'm not going to actually make this because my refrigerator's full. We're going to a wedding this afternoon and into the evening. Tomorrow I'll be down in the St. Louis area with my watching two of my 15 grandkids playing basketball and soccer tournaments. I'll get to see 2 basketball games and 2 soccer tournaments down in the St. Louis area with with 2 of my grandkids. So I'm excited about that. So I'm not going to make this. I'm going to show you what we would do to make this, though. So this calls for, we preheat the oven to 400 degrees, and we're going to put on a sheet pan. This is called a sheet pan, cookie sheet like this. Nice to have an edge around it. Cookie sheets are usually flat. This kind of pan has a lip. So we want to have that, otherwise it's going to spill all over the place. So make sure you have a lip on your pan. So the one thing it calls for turkey sausage. Now this is from Aldi's, and this is a great brand. It's Never Any. And this is a tomato basil, no nitrates, no nitrites, no artificial preservatives. All right. And it's chicken raised with no antibiotics, no hormones, and a vegetarian diet. Let's look at the back. What do we have for ingredients? Well, we've got chicken raised without antibiotics, sun-dried tomatoes, which are sun-dried tomatoes and salt, mozzarella cheese, which is pasteurized, part skim milk, cheese cultures, salts and enzymes, garlic, basil, kosher salt, celery juice, extract of rosemary, vinegar, beef collagen for the casing, and evaporated cane syrup. No high fructose corn syrup, no maltodextrin, no dextrose, no sucralose, no blah, 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 sugar, no. Just that little bit. And there we go. So these are ready to go. They're already pre-cut. So all I do is kind of slice them, angle them, to make them pretty. Just make it slices diagonal, make it pretty. That would go in. And what else does it say to put in it? We would chop up some mixed peppers. And guess what's in these peppers? Oh, just peppers. Good. That would go in here. What else would go in there? Broccoli. Broccoli would go on this tray. And then I'd use mushrooms. Now, the secret reason about the mushrooms is that when you bring mushrooms home, the thing I've been trying to teach you guys is put them in a paper bag, take them out of the plastic cartons that they send, put them in a paper bag, and look how strong they stay great. These are portobellos, and they stay fresh longer. They don't go moldy on you. So use a paper bag. And the other trick in the kitchen that I showed you, I like to keep you guys know, is that when you bring your greens home, if you're going to keep them in the tray that you brought them home in, take it out and put paper towel on the bottom and the top, and look how they stay green. These aren't turning black. A lot of times you buy salad, right? Leaf greens, I don't care whether it's kale, I don't care if this is spinach, romaine, those types of things. They turn black and yucky, mushy, right? If you put them in a container and you put paper towel on the bottom and the top, it's going to keep it so that they don't turn black. They're going to stay a lot longer. Okay, you see how this is? Cool. So in the recipe for this recipe today, we'd have these guys would be cut up, and you can cut up an onion if you like onions. I'm not a big onion guy. But if you were going to do that, I'd probably use either Vidalia, because that's a sweet onion, or you could use yellow. I wouldn't use red for this dish. And that would be the dish right here. The chicken sausage veggie. And that's what it would look like when you're done. Take these guys together. Just chop them up. I would put avocado oil on them, on the veggies, right? Before I bake them. And there you go. And that's the recipe. Now, that does say calls for zucchini. I don't happen to have any zucchini in the house. I didn't grow any out this year. So that's what my plate would look like. And that's what the dish would look like right there. Now, you could put in, if you like green beans, long string green beans, put them in there. If you like sweet potatoes, I would dice them up, put sweet potatoes in there. If you have, that's a great time for squash. So if you had delicata squash, I love delicata squash, then I'd put some of that on the tray. Or if you like butternut squash or acorn squash, I'd put some of those and bake them inside of that as well. Okay, does that make sense? You get to do the recipes the way you like to do recipes because you get to play with your food. Put what you like, but the simplicity to eat well and healthy is simple. Very, very simple. And what happens is when you do eat then, is you're going to follow the order of food. You're going to eat fiber first, then you're going to eat the fat, the protein, and then the carb. And that allows us to what? Now we're eating in our food zone. We're eating in our eating zone. Between the goalposts, right? Between the goalposts. So that you don't look like Mr. Belly so big. You don't become maple syrup. You don't have a blood glucose of 834 where you should be dead. Yeah. I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to be healthy. We want you to have your health line, your health time to last as long as your lifetime. Yeah. Have you ever had too much month at the end of the money? Yeah, most of us have. Too much month at the end of the money. Think about that as your health. Who do you know? And I know everybody knows people who have run out of health before they've run out of lifetime. Do you want to be that person? No. Then let's change starting today. Let's incorporate a little bit of this. Eat in the eating zone. Eat in the order of food, fiber, fat, protein, carb. When you eat, take a walk. Take a 10-minute walk. I didn't say exercise. I said walk. Take a stroll, 10-minute stroll. Why? Because you get to move your muscles, your big ones, your legs, your butt. And that helps to do what? It helps insulin to get that glucose into the cells where it needs to go. Because you're also burning it while you're doing that. Because you can't burn fat and sugar at the same time. You can only burn one at a time, and you can't turn fat burning on until you've got all the sugar burned out. And if it can't go into the muscles, if it can't go into the liver, if it can't go into the brain, it goes into your fat cells, and then it starts to go out like buds, hydras, acne, gout, blood pressure issues, right? Hair falling out, blurry vision, start peeing all the time, right? Guys, when you have cravings for sugar, you are addicted. There is nothing worse than that. Well, there is, but it's caused by eating too often. Don't become Mr. Belly so big. Here's a classic meal that I did the other day, right? And you can see I had the fiber. So I'm going to do my fiber right now. And our fiber is a balanced mix of nutraceutical grade fibers. Patented. We have 4 patents on this. And it is a blend of soluble and insoluble fiber. The insoluble fiber is the broom, if you will. The insoluble fiber doesn't digest, but the good bacteria in your gut loves it. And the reason you have IBS, the reason you have a lot of gut issues, constipation, right? Irritable bowel, leaky gut, the reason you have that is because they have taken out of our food, out of your food, without your permission, fiber. Why? It increases the shelf life. But what does it do to your life? Decreases it, doesn't it? So you can see I'm shaking this fiber up. This is the fiber matrix called the balance. This happens in the next berry. And look at how thick this is. Look how thick that is. Now, what's great about this is that, well, this tastes great. That's good. Is that this does two things. The insoluble fiber helps feed the good bacteria, the bacteria that you want going. It's also the broom. It's also the gluten poop fiber. And the gel, the thick that looked there, that was really like a gel. What it does was that coats the gut, slows down the absorption, and helps minimize the spikes. Without this, you eat something, the blood's going to spike right now, boom, like that. And now insulin's got to come out on the high end. By keeping it inside this lower value, because of the soluble fiber, I don't have to put out as much insulin because the glucose level is not going to be that high. It's going to be slower. So it's not a big spike. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So we want to eat in the order of food. We're going to eat fiber. I just drank my fiber. That's the balance right there. And then there's that salad right here. That's spinach, fiber, walnuts, fiber and fat, avocado, fiber and fat, mushrooms, fiber, and cottage cheese as a dressing, fat. Your order of food, fiber and fat, protein. Then on the plate for my main course, I have grilled chicken, dry seasonings, salt, pepper, garlic, those types of things. Nothing with sugar. So there's my protein. And then I have a tomato grown from right over there in the garden. And on that, God wrapped carbohydrates in fiber. So this tomato is a carbohydrate. It's the apple's in the same family. But guess what? It's wrapped in fiber. So to eat a tomato, you eat the fiber first. Same formula. It's the same formula. Fiber, fat, protein, maybe carb. By eating the fiber first, that helps fill the gut. You're not going to eat as much. By eating fat, fat is very satisfying and it tastes delicious. Tastes delicious. And in fats, we're looking at in real fats. Omega-3s, not omega-6s, not seed oils. Okay, we're not looking at seed oils. Leave those on the shelf. Leave them there. Here's a couple more dishes we've done here. See that? See how we put this together? Sorry, the ring light kind of puts up a little glare. See how that plays out? Those are all, we're able to eat what? Fiber, fat, protein, right? And then carb. Oops, there we go. So this is today's dish. I want to make sure that you understand we're trying to prevent you from going down the path that I did. Okay, I'm trying to help you not do this. And if you're on this path, let's get you off of it. Go ahead and message me if you want me to help be a coach for you. I'd be happy to help you. If you want to learn about the protocol that I use, great. Just private message me, and I'll get you the information for that. If you'd like to have information about our speakers and our event coming up on our great lineup of speakers, which if you are into health, if you're into exercise, if you're into metabolic health and safety, or if you know anybody that would like to become and hear Dr. Nina, the Big Fat Secret Surprise, Dr. Jason Fung, the obesity code and diabetic code, Dr. Benjamin Bickman, why we get sick and research par excellence, Cynthia's intermittent fasting transformation, Dr. Nick's CrossFit trainer, Dr. Carlos, the metabolic miracle, Dr. Jamie, Fit and Fabulous. If you'd like to have information on get tickets, put tickets in the chat, and I'll make sure I get that. So I thank you guys for coming on board today. Always enjoy seeing you. If you have any questions or comments, always let me know. But again, thank you very much. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday.